Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. 1923's Harrison Ford reveals if he would return to Yellowstone universe after Season 2 finale. 1923 star Harrison Ford has revealed if he would return to the Yellowstone universe as Jacob Dutton after the Season 2 finale of its latest TV show. 1923 Season 2 ended with Jacob Ford deciding to retire, helping his wife, Kara Marin, in raising their grandson, John Dutton Hugh. While the show later flashes forward to 1969, showing an elderly Spencer, Brandon Sklenar, dying after visiting his wife Alexandra's, Julia Schläfer, grave, it leaves a multi-decade time gap in between that has yet to be filled by the franchise. Speaking with The Hollywood Reporter at a FYC event in Los Angeles, California, Ford revealed that he would be open to reprising his role as Jacob from 1923 in future Yellowstone projects. This includes the potential upcoming spin-off 1944, which he joked, "I'm still alive for." He said that if series creator Taylor Sheridan asks nice, he'd be open to coming back, but also said, "I have no idea what his plans are." However, as of writing, there is no official word yet on the status of 1944, nor if Ford will be involved in future series. Ford's interest in coming back as Jacob signals a real possibility that he could return to the franchise. As of writing, there's technically been no official word from Paramount that Season 2 of his Yellowstone spin-off ended the show, meaning 1923 Season 3 is somewhat possible. However, the time jump with Spencer at Alexandra's grave offered a definitive ending to the story, meaning it wouldn't make sense for the show to go back to when he was younger. This makes it less likely for Jacob to return given his age in the series already. If 1944 were to include Jacob's return, he would be much older, perhaps one of the longest living members of the Dutton family. But with Ford expressing interest in the possibility of returning, it could also be a way to give his character a send-off as an important figure in their whole history. This would be especially important if the planned prequel really does focus on John, since he's anticipated to become the father of John Dutton, i.e., Kevin Costner, from the original Yellowstone. Jacob was the central patriarch of the Dutton family in 1923, making it important for the focus to be on him and his time running the ranch. However, even if he did come back in 1944, his age coupled with having decided to retire 21 years earlier means he'd probably only appear for a smaller role in the series. Even so, Ford's talent and the gripping performance he provided means it would be interesting to see him return for the role again, even if he only showed up on 1923's second season and the dust began to settle over the windswept plains of Montana. Fans found themselves with one burning question. Would Harrison Ford return to Taylor Sheridan's sprawling Yellowstone universe? In a rare moment of candid reflection, Ford, now in his 80s but as sharp-eyed and grizzled as ever, offered a glimpse into the decision-making behind his future in the Dutton family saga. For an actor who has spent 5 decades playing iconic characters, from Han Solo to Indiana Jones, stepping into the boots of Jacob Dutton, patriarch of the 1923 generation of the Yellowstone Ranch, was both a risk and a revelation. "I didn't know what I was walking into," Ford said during a quiet interview at his Jackson, Wyoming ranch just days after the Season 2 finale aired. "I don't usually do television, but Sheridan's scripts had grit. They had that fire. And Jacob? He's cut from stone. The kind of role that doesn't just ask you to act, it asks you to live in it." The 1923 finale left Jacob Dutton at a crossroads, both figuratively and literally. As political tensions rise, land wars intensify, and family blood continues to be spilled across the range, Jacob stood not as the hero of the story, but as its weathered moral compass. His presence, even in silence, has been a gravitational force in the prequel series. So, will Ford return? "Well," he said, pausing as he considered his words. That depends on whether there's more story to tell. And there just might be. Sheridan, the mastermind behind the Yellowstone franchise, which now spans multiple generations and spin-offs, has never been one to shy away from reinvention. From 1883's heart-wrenching frontier tale to 1923's sobering look at modernization and conflict, each series has brought a new texture to the American mythos. But Ford's involvement in 1923 brought more than gravitas, it brought legacy. When you cast someone like Harrison, you're not just getting a performance, Sheridan told Variety earlier this year. You're getting history. You're getting the very essence of the American screen hero. And in a story about the foundation of a dynasty like the Duttons, you need that kind of presence. The finale of 1923's second season didn't offer the kind of resolution fans might have hoped for. In typical Sheridan fashion, it closed with uncertainty, bordering on dread, as Jacob, wounded emotionally and physically, watches the world he's tried to protect continue to unravel. His enemies circle, his allies falter, and the question of whether the Dutton legacy can endure looms larger than ever. Ford, who has grown famously private in his later years, admitted that portraying Jacob Dutton took more from him than he expected. "I had to go deep for Jacob," he said, tugging at the brim of a weathered cowboy hat that could have belonged to either Jacob or Indiana. "There's pain in him, a history he never speaks of. You don't get to be that kind of man without losing a lot. And I had to feel that every day." Still, he said, there was something about returning to the saddle at this point in his life that felt right. "I don't know if it's my last ride," Ford said with a sly smile, "but if it was, it wouldn't be a bad one." He paused, then leaned forward, as if addressing the audience directly. "But let's be clear, there's more that man wants to say. And if the story's right, if there's another piece of the puzzle worth telling, I might just come back and tell it." For fans, the notion of Ford reprising his role, even for a final arc, is tantalizing. In an entertainment landscape often oversaturated with prequels, reboots, and spin-offs, 1923 has stood apart. It isn't just another addition to the Yellowstone timeline, it's the soul of it. And Ford's Jacob Dutton is the beating heart. Co-star Helen Mirren, who plays Cara Dutton, Jacob's fiercely intelligent and loyal wife, has previously said working with Ford brought unexpected depth to their on-screen dynamic. "There's a quiet rage in Jacob," Mirren said in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter. "Harrison brings that simmering volcano energy. You always feel like something is about to erupt, and that tension, it fuels the story." When asked if she'd return to the franchise, Mirren was less certain. "I think we told the story we came to tell," she said. "But who knows? The West is wide, and so are the possibilities." Sheridan himself remains characteristically tight-lipped about the future of 1923. Rumors swirl about another season, or a limited follow-up exploring the next chapter in the Dutton family saga. But what is clear is that 1923 has become more than just a prequel. It's a meditation on legacy, violence, sacrifice, and the ever-shifting nature of what it means to survive. And Harrison Ford, whether he returns or not, has etched Jacob Dutton into the annals of great American television characters.